it's just hard for it to describe. But they actually put this in a court document. And I was like, what is, I think they said that she might have had a black eye. I was squinting really hard at the photo. I was like, I don't know if I see a black eye. Maybe the photo was in black and white. So not only do we have Doug doing the karate blades in a circular motion, Doug also had a box, ran towards her, and then in an upwards motion, I don't know, like pushed the box up. So it like scratched her side or something. So I really do want to know who wrote this. His fists are clenched and his arms are jiggling as he's ready for physical contact. Whoever wrote this is a complete drama novel. They're saying that there's a black eye on one eye, but I think not the other. But why does the other eye look the same? Like maybe a little bit of darkening, right? It's like, I don't know, man. If someone got punched in the face, I feel like I shouldn't be squinting to see if they have a black eye or not. I feel like it's like, okay, that's pretty prominent. No! No way! You see that there? That's a black eye. You see that? It's kind of swollen. Look at the lids. Tell me the lid size is not the same. He said, what?
The question I was going to ask was about the left cheek, Your Honor.
Judge is like, where? All right, guys, let's talk about Ashley Benefield. Okay, Ashley Benefield. Earlier I was talking about, do you guys remember how Jodi Arias said that when Travis was charging at her, he was in like a football stance and then like came charging at her, and then that's when she like had to like defend herself or whatever. I don't know. Ashley Benefield, when I was reading some of the documents, said something kind of interesting, and I don't know if I have it up right here, but she essentially ran to her neighbor's house. It was like, I think in 2020, she ran to her neighbor's house, screaming and yelling and saying that like, my husband was attacking me. I had to shoot him. And so police showed up, and then they soon realized that, well, something's fishy about this, because her husband at the time, or I don't know if they're together. I know they were like kind of like separating. Maybe they were having like a custody battle with their child. But her husband, Doug, they think that he was shot from behind. So if someone was coming at you, you know, the bullets would come probably in the front of them, right? Because you're trying to like, you're shooting at them. They're coming at you, and you'll probably shoot them in the front of the body. But they also realized that it didn't seem that Doug was in like a defensive position or anything like that. What she said, oh man, do I have it up here? Basically, they were fighting, and she thought she was gonna die, it was life or death or something, and she had to protect herself. But the way that she described Doug coming at her, it was very interesting. Here's one of the excerpts, okay? He postured like a mixed martial arts fighter, blading. So I didn't know what blading meant, but I was like, okay, so you're a mixed martial arts fighter. You're probably like this, but then like blading, does it mean you're like this, like karate chopping? So was he blading like this, hands parallel with his chest and shoulders? So like this, moving his arms and hands in a circular motion and advanced her? I was a little confused, and I was like, you know, maybe I just don't maybe the way I'm interpreting it, just maybe I'm not interpreting it correctly, but it just sounded, I don't know. I literally was eating and I like spit out my sweet potato because I was like, what the heck is this fighting position? So posture like a mixed martial artist fighter, blading, hands parallel with his chest and shoulders, moving his arms and hands in a circular motion, advancing towards her. I don't know. And this is in a court document, by the way. So if she was in distress and this was a police interview and she described it like so, then I'd be like, okay, you know, maybe like it's just hard for her to describe. But they actually put this in a court document, and I was like, what is I don't like Karate Kid, Mortal Kombat. They don't even do that. I don't know. Does anyone here engage in martial arts fighting? Does anyone know what blading could mean? Because I think blading means you're doing this. But honestly, I usually wouldn't go this hard before like a trial happens. But this person, Ashley Benefield, has already been called out by another judge that was overseeing a different case. And I was listening to it, and this judge was just basically calling her out on her lies, saying that all the accusations she made towards her husband, I think she said that her husband was really physically abusive towards her. She said that her husband like poisoned her. And the judge was like, there's no proof of any of this. Like, this person is just lying. And so I listened to that and I was like, okay, I'm going to go with what the judge is saying, because I feel like usually judges are kind of reserved in their judgment unless they know that the person is for sure lying. But I don't know. I was reading this article and I was just like, oh God, I gotta read this towards my chat. And then there was something else that popped up, and it's not on this law and crime article, but I was able to find there's like 130 page. We're not going to read the whole thing, but we'll definitely like read a little bit of it because it is kind of interesting. There was like a 130 page document where the defense team is trying to dismiss the charges against her by saying that like, oh, like my client was defending herself and here's what happened. But I don't know. I want to read this with you guys, and I think it's kind of interesting. But let's start with the law and crime article because I feel like law and crime does a really good job at recapping. That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I was thinking of Jody. I was thinking about some of the Amber Heard descriptions where I was just like, huh? What? Where it felt like, I don't know, like maybe they're getting out of books or something, or maybe horribly written books, but like, I don't know. It just sounded a little bit weird, but maybe I'm just reading it wrong. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, let's talk about Benefield. So Ashley Benefield, she is I think like a model / ballerina. She was in her early 20s. I think she was like 24 when she met her soon-to-be husband, who is in his 50s. I think he had just lost his wife. They were about to get married. Wife ends up passing away. And so, probably like in the mourning stage, right? In the mourning stage right now. And so he meets this 20-year-old model / ballerina, and they actually get married pretty quickly. I think they get married like maybe 2 weeks after getting married, which to me is just bonkers. I don't know, man. I feel like in order to get married to someone, you got to really date them for a little bit. You got to live with them. You got to know if they're dirty or not. Like, I don't know, man. They might be nasty. Maybe they don't wash their ass or something like that. But I feel like you got to know people. But, I understand there are some people that move pretty quickly because they're kind of older and they're like, you know what? I don't want to waste any time. I just want to wife up. I want to be a husband, blah, 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 blah. So this is Ashley Benefield here. Ashley Benefield, 31, former model and ballerina, accused of shooting and killing her husband, Doug Benefield, 58, inside their Lakewood Ranch, Florida home in September of 2020. So that was 3 years. 3 years ago. What took so long? Well, I guess pandemic stuff, right? Ashley Benefield team filed a motion for dismissal, meaning they want the case and the charge dropped, claiming Doug Benefield was an abusive husband and she shot and killed him in self-defense. Keep in mind that when they found her, I think they said that she might have had a black eye. I was squinting really hard at the photo. I was like, I don't know if I see a black eye. Maybe the photo was in black and white. But she didn't have anything else. There was like a little scratch that she had on her stomach. But it was how she described how Doug attacked her with a box. Okay, this was very interesting too. She said that like Doug ran towards her with a box and then hit her with it in an upwards motion. And I was like, I don't really understand that either. So not only do we have Doug doing the karate blades in a circular motion, Doug also had a box, ran towards her, and then in an upwards motion, I don't know, like pushed the box up so it like scratched her side or something. So maybe you guys can read it in a way where I can understand it more, because I'm just very lost at how she was describing how Doug was attacking her. I don't know. I was just very lost. Did she pull a Gone Girl? Oh, dude, the Gone Girl thing. What's the lady's name again that did try to pull a Gone Girl? Sherry Papini, right? Oh, not even get started with Sherry Papini. That's a whole nother thing. Hi, how are you doing today? How's it going? So this is Ashley and Doug Benefield. And by the way, sorry, you guys can see the picture. This is her right here. Honestly, she does not look like she's in her 20s. I would have thought she would look like someone who's like in her, I don't know, like 40s, but looks really good for her age. But 20s does not look like 20s to me. In 2016, they met. She was 24, model, ballerina. He was a widowed 54-year-old Navy veteran. 2 weeks after meeting, they were married. It's wild. Doug Benfield's first wife, Renee Benefield, died 9 months prior to their wedding from a heart condition. He was a technology consultant and had several businesses. And I believe Doug Benefield and Renee Benefield, I think they have a daughter together. I think only a daughter. She's actually on TikTok, and she was talking about how things were between her and the defendant, Ashley Benefield. So Ashley Benefield wanted to start her own ballerina company. So with Doug Benfield's help, they created the American National Ballet in Charlestown, South Carolina. The ballet company failed quickly. This kind of reminds me of Corey Richards a little bit, because Corey Richards met her, future husband while she was working at Home Depot. And Corey Richards wanted to like start her own real estate company or something like that. But then she ended up going in like a lot of debt, and her husband couldn't really help her out anymore. And I think she was probably starting to fail. Maybe that's why she became really desperate and wanted to buy that expensive house that her husband didn't want to get into. But anyways, we're waiting on the Corey Richards stuff. Soon after launching the company, the Benefields found that they were expecting a baby. Due to a challenging pregnancy, Ashley Benefield moved from South Carolina to Florida to be with her mother and gave birth in March 2018. Shortly after, so that means that she possibly murdered her husband, allegedly murdered her husband when the baby was like 2 years old. Listen, when they're 2 years old, they're not going to really understand much, but like when they're older, like, I don't know, you're just fucking them for life. Assuming that it's murder. Shortly after, things started to crumble and a nasty battle over custody of their baby began. Court documents show Ashley Benefield did everything in her power to keep Doug Benefield away from her and their baby, even filing DV claims in court. Ashley Benefield said Doug Benefield tried poisoning her and was psychologically abusive. So again, I want to listen to the judge who was... the judge that was involved in that case where she accused her husband of poisoning and being abusive and stuff like that. And the judge was like, you know what? Everything that she says is just a lie. None of it's true. I thought that was really interesting to listen to. At the injunction hearing, the judge went on record advising that they did not find Ashley Benfield's story to possess a scintilla of truth. The murder. On September 27, 2020, dispatchers in Manatee County received a 911 call around 6 p.m. from a man who said his neighbor had just run over to his home yelling for help, claiming her husband had just attacked her, so she shot him. That neighbor was later identified as Ashley Benefield. First responders said it was clear the victim, Doug Benefield, had been shot at least 2 times in the master bedroom. A medical examiner report, one of the rounds entered the outside of his right leg and exited the inside of his right leg. Oof. The other round appeared to have skipped the right bicep and entered Doug Benfield's chest cavity from the right side. Based on the entry wounds on Douglas, it does not appear that he was facing Ashley when she began shooting. It does not appear that Douglas had taken any kind of defensive or combative stance. The medical examiner also confirmed after being shot, Doug Benefield fell to the ground. It appears that he may have struck his head on the way down, the court documents said. He did have an abrasion on the back of his head, which matched with the small patch of a disturbed drywall on the bedroom wall. 4 shots were fired. 4 .45 caliber casings were found on the master bedroom floor, a police affidavit said. A loose projectile was also found on the floor. 2 more were found embedded in the walls of the home. Ashley Benefield. Let's go to the video, actually. Let me pop up the video really quick.
That is the CD of the oral pronouncement at the end of the injunction and emergency time-sharing hearing.
All right. Is audio okay?
It's about 10 minutes long.
I think Mr. Sessions start with that one thing, even though I find it very reticent to ever say, well, someone else investigated this, so there's no problem. But I do appreciate the fact that Mr. Sessions argues that people investigated found that his client wasn't the perpetrator of any domestic violence, etc. Because I just read a report by a doctor that just indicated that he had done a full battery of psychological evaluations on Mr. Benefield in this case. He had absolutely no concern of self-harm, domestic violence, or any other type of spurious activity on behalf of Mr. Benefield.
No. So she does ballet. I bet she could crawl through a doggy door. Hence, she's the same crazy level as Jody. Oh my God, no. I like imagine her doing like more like a spider-like way where like one leg comes in, another leg comes through, and then the arms and the body and the head. Like, oh God.
Let me just go ahead and say as follows, that this court will find that as far as credibility is concerned, I would find, and I'm going to say this in the gentlest form I possibly can, that
the judge says, I'm going to say this in the gentlest form that I can. I listened to this already, and if this is the judge's gentlest form of her addressing that Ashley Benefield is a liar, I don't know. I want to see how the judge really is when they're savage, because it was pretty.
There is absolutely not a single scintilla of credibility that I'm attaching to anything that was testified to, at least in this hearing of Ms. Benefield. Court finds that it starts from basically the absurd of the conversations of what she would have had with a child, searching the room, finding a shadow box, being so upset, but also at the same time the testimony where she said, well, they absolutely liked me a lot. They confided in.
No, it's not this judge. It's the other judge that was going over the case between Ashley Banfield said the husband was being physically abusive towards her, the kid as well, and then the husband was like poisoning her, and that was the judge from the previous case.
Every conversation, I knew all these horrible things were going to happen.
Actually, this judge talks pretty fast. I think I could do normal speed. Wow, that's pretty rare. No worries, Micha, no worries.
The girls felt good talking to me. We then move forward to the actual presentation that she's had in this courtroom since she entered into this courtroom, the turning on of tears when she thinks it's appropriate.
Listen, I'm actually really surprised that a judge is this confident. I didn't follow the old stuff, but there has to be like something that went down where the judge is like super confident that Ashley Banfield is lying. For the judge to accuse Ashley Banfield of turning on and turning off the tears, I think is fucking crazy.
The
hilarious crazy.
Then we move on to the entire insinuation that there is some type of poisoning going on in this particular case. There is not a single scintilla of credible evidence that Miss Benefield has ever been poisoned or suffered from any illness of any poison.
Oh, and trust me, the judge goes hard on the expert witness as well.
Court finds that Dr. Hilliard's testimony was suspect. I don't think that the court finds that he reviewed one record appropriately.
Oh my God. Listen, I'm actually so curious about this previous thing that happened. She's saying the expert didn't review the records appropriately.
And in comparison to Dr. Sawyer, I think his testimony, in a word, was bunk. I do find that Dr. Sawyer's testimony was quite informative, and that his information concerning the.
I want to know what the judge would say about Dr. Lewis from Letitia's case.
Questions that I had, how there were testing for certain metals on and then testing for certain metals that weren't there. Most important to this court was the explanation of the misinterpretation or the use of an improper range, which I think even in cross-examination, there was a misunderstanding that there is a range that these metals are in the human body, not just a single number. So that brings us to the following timeline. I have that in 10/20/2016.
Because usually when we listen to like prosecutors, attorneys, and stuff like that, they usually go this hard. They're usually this confident. But for a judge to be like, there's no way that the expert witness was properly examining the blah 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 like the other expert was, and that there's no ounce of truth coming from her, and the fact that she was turning on and turning off tears. Like I feel like usually lawyers go this hard, but to hear it come from a judge. Oh man.
There's the respondent is up there. They're at the respondent's home. Petitioner is up there. He's had back surgery. She moves back into the respondent's home permanently on December 2016. That in
True. Yeah, the judge went hard. I'm used to them being more diplomatic. There must have been like a lot of evidence that was not in her favor. And that's why the judge was this confident to go this hard on her.
About January 2017 through, I'm going to say 5/8/2017, there appears to be a marriage in which there are arguments. But there is still a very committed relationship to the point where they're talking about having a reversal of vasectomy to have a child. That on 5/8/2017, the clear evidence is that there is the vasectomy alteration or reversal. And that from that point, they begin to pursue having a child. The court will find there is one incident of alleged domestic violence, and I got to tell you, it is de minimis, even though it's huge. Whenever how it was executed, the shot into the ceiling, court is going to find that at no time was the shot by Mr. Benefield at or in the direction of Miss Benefield.
Oh, so this is I read earlier. So apparently he did have a gun and he did shoot it into the ceiling because he was trying to get her to like shut the fuck up or something like that. And he did admit to that. And the court is saying here, they're like, okay, that is one act of like possible DV, but the gun wasn't directed at her.
The court has seen Mr. Benefield testify, and the court finds that Mr. Benefield is taking on responsibility.
I mean, you should be doing that no matter what, because that's pretty fucking. But yeah,
for that
difference between having a gun pointed up and pointed at you.
Single misstep, but that is a remote type of domestic violence that has occurred. Subsequent to that, it is clear that Ms. Benefield continued to pursue a relationship and to have child with this gentleman, that she had a lavish wedding, invited numerous people there, had many people that she could have confided in, saying, I'm in a hellish situation, things are out of control.
Look at the judge was like, lavish wedding.
Just last week, he shot a bullet in the ceiling. That's absolutely not what happens. Instead, she goes through with this lavish wedding. She goes on developing a
how lavish
with her husband at that time, posing in magazines, portraying to everybody in the world that this is a very happy marriage, that we're going down, we're going to start this national ballet at a significant cost, both emotionally, physically, and financially to the parties. That she finally they finally find out that in July 2017 they have conceived a child, and that or they think that that's the date they've conceded in retroactive review, which tells this court that during that period after the shot, that they were still engaging in a intimate relationship. The court does not find credible any type of animal cruelty in this particular.
Oh, and then she also said that he was also abusive towards their dog, and he did admit to hitting the dog, but the way that I read it, it was like he said that like the dog like jumped up on him and like really sharp claws, and he didn't want the dog like to be like all up on him, and like he like tried to like the dog off, but like I don't know, like then like the person asking the question was like, so did you hit it? Did you hit it? Did you hit it? He's like, okay, yeah, I hit the dog, but I don't know, I don't know about that one.
Case,
I think there's a difference between like beating the shit out of a dog, kicking it, throwing it, being cruel, choking it, versus like, you know, a dog jumps on you and then you're like kind of like being reactive because the nails are really sharp and you're like pushing it off or hitting it off or something like that. I don't know. Because you know, sometimes like when you're being questioned and they want you to like, they keep asking the same questions over. Did you hit it? Did you hit it? And you're like, no, I didn't. I try to get it off. No, I didn't do it. And then like at some point, like you're like, yeah, okay, I guess I hit it based on your definition.
Does the court find that the other incidences alleged of punching the wall were ever directed completely at her, nor were they meant for intimidation? Court's also going to find that at 3/2017, they do find about the pregnancy. It's confirmed. And at that time, because of illnesses due to the pregnancy, it is determined as a family, as well as because of the ballet, that you're going to move Mrs. Benefield to Florida from South Carolina. During all this period of time, what we have is a household that is continuing on. Ms. Benefield being in the home, not making anyone alert. The medical records are devoid of any conversations between her and people that would have been providing protection, those being doctors, etc., indicating in the least that she has any type of poisoning that is appearing in her system, that she has been.
I wonder if it was like the AH thing where it's like, okay, I'm going to slowly ramp up my accusations to the point where it becomes so shocking that there's no way they can deny it. Like, I wonder if it, like she initially went with like, it was DV. Okay, now he was being cruel to animals. Because remember, like kind of AH like did the same thing. She said that like Johnny was very abusive towards her. And then not only that, but he was also abusive towards her two dogs and abusive towards her friends. And like she just kept slowly ramping it up until it got to like the bottle situation in Australia.
The victim of domestic violence, and or that this child Eva has been the victim of domestic violence. Then we go on, and suddenly we have she moves to Florida. But even in Florida, we have Irma come through. I think September 11th, that weekend, Mr. Benefield comes all the way down. He makes sure she has a generator if she needs for the storm. He then leaves, and she feels comfortable enough and well enough to go all the way back up to the home that she shared with Mr. Benefield to collect property and transport those items down to Florida for her own use and without any fear that this gentleman is going to harm her when she's up there. They court will, one of the other things allude to as far as credibility problems were the issues concerning the split records that she's asking the Lakewood Ranch to have to, I guess.
You think Ashley will probably get off? Reminds me of Nikki Adamando. Haven't heard of that. Everyone was abusive and R-wording her with no evidence of R-word at all. Shot her boyfriend in the back while he was lying down on the couch. I have never heard of that before. Haven't heard that case.
Somehow cover any type of problems or contradiction there might be with the poisoning allegations, as well as the emails that were introduced today between the cousin of Mr. Benefield and Miss Benefield, I guess, trying to curry some kind of upper hand in the in either of these two cases against Mr. Benefield. Court's also going to find that the wife has at this time demonstrated a complete disregard for allowing Mr. Benefield to have any active role in the birth of his child. And
during the pre-evidentiary hearing for Ashley Banfield's self-defense claim, the state played audio from a previous 2018 custody hearing. It's from 2018. Oh my God, this is just not a good look. This is coming from a judge.
Or the life of his child that he has now not had any contact with. The court's going to find there's been no violation of any injunction. The court did look at and has listened to the testimonies that were provided concerning the injunction that was entered. Quite frankly, it sounds like the court was, when you listen to the transcript, was actually telling both of them they needed to stay away from each other, and that certainly there was no violation of it whenever there was the oral pronouncement, only to be followed by a written pronouncement. Court is also finds there are some issues with the credibility of Miss Benefield when she's actively sitting here telling this court she doesn't like to have publicity, but at the same token she's participating in articles concerning the alleged poison, etc.
Oh no, I wonder what articles and what interviews she was doing. Oh my God, this judge is calling her out for everything.
Court, she doesn't like to have publicity, but at the same token she's participating in articles concerning the alleged poison, etc. As far as the last comment on the poisoning, there is not one piece of evidence, like I said, that has been established that even if she was being poisoned, that there has been a suggestion of a nexus of the who, how, and where the poison. That would be rank speculation for this court to...
Yes, this is a previous judge from a 2018 custody hearing.
Jump into the idea that because it happened, it had to be him, especially when I have... in all senses, not a credible witness is the only person that's asking me to speculate. So with that in mind, the court is going to find that at this time, there...
Forget going hard. I just witnessed a murder and the culprit is the judge. I do want to look up this judge. Their name is not on here. Jesus.
There's absolutely no evidence, and I'm saying no evidence. I'm not saying by the preponderance of the evidence standard.
Like, judge is like 100% sure. Oh man, I don't know if there's any, I wish we can get transcripts from the custody hearing. I think that'd be really interesting to look through. Man, because the judge, I just feel like usually it's, they kind of err on the side of like, oh, maybe, it's possible that, what this person is saying is true. Judge is like, nope, there's absolutely no way, zero evidence, nope, no scintilla.
That hasn't even been close to that there's been a indication that there's an immediate likelihood of domestic violence. There's only the one remote incident, and as of today, there's no reasonably prudent or logical person would think that you're the threat, that you're being threatened by immediate domestic violence. So for those reasons, the court is going to deny the request for an injunction in this particular case.
Jesus.
After the judge's ruling on
I do want to see her face. I want to see like how she reacts to that. Having to listen to all that all over again. Because having to listen to that in 2018, dude, that must have been a punch to the gut. Having to sit there in a courtroom right now for potentially allegedly murdering your husband and listening to that 2018 judge all over again, dude, I wish I could see her face. I'm just very curious what her reaction is like.
Injunction, which would be the defendant's motion. Did she make a ruling on your motions?
Yes,
And that was time sharing with the child?
it was time sharing and
Wait, is that the judge? Wait, is that the judge?
parental responsibility.
Okay. And what was the order, or what did the judge say Doug could do?
There was a temporary time sharing schedule that was increasing in frequency and amount. So it started with the first day that he was going to be able to meet his daughter just a handful of days later. After a period of time of seeing her according to the schedule.
Wait, is it her? It sounds like her. Wait, so I didn't pay attention to the beginning. I just went straight to the recording.
Then it jumped up to weekend time sharing, overnight sharing. Then there was another jump. And so he was able to take his daughter back to South Carolina for time sharing. There was also,
Hi, Beta.
I believe, some
I think this is the judge.
extended visits, maybe holiday related. But then the other main component of that order was with regard to shared parental responsibility.
I know. I didn't want to grow her for her ugly person. You put that on the floor.
Which again is the decision making. And Judge Moreland ordered that Ashley and Doug were
Hi,
to
Sherry.
exercise shared parental responsibility so that they would have to confer and make a good faith attempt to agree on major decisions.
Wait, is that the judge? Girl, look at her. Put it on the floor.
We were talking about the end of the hearing on September 17th, 2020, where Judge Moreland made a...
Oh, okay. No, she's not the judge. Judge Moreland. Wait, unless she's talking direct. Maybe she's not talking to her. She's talking to the other judge. I can't see. Zoom out the camera a little bit.
oral order.
Correct. She made an order.
Oh, okay. That's not the judge. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's just someone else. I thought it was the judge. Other than the ugly purse, though, she looks. Everything else looks good, though. Hair looks good. Blazer, necklace. Yeah, it's okay. Top. She looks good. That purse is just a little. I don't know. It reminds me of my like Guess days. You guys know that store Guess Marciano back in like 2002. Oh God, I used to pour so much money at Guess. Okay. So they think Doug was shot from the back. Okay. Ashley Benefield's arrest affidavit. A warrant for Ashley Benefield's arrest was filed after 6 weeks after the crime on November 4, 2020, charging her with second-degree murder with a firearm. The arrest affidavit presented the above facts of the case and confirmed when first responders tried to question her about what had happened, her legal counsel had already arrived at the crime scene. Very smart person. And her counsel told police she did not want to make a statement. Ashley did, however, make a spontaneous statement to me advising her ears were still ringing. The affidavit reads, photographs were taken of Ashley Benefield within an hour of the shooting, and a second time a few days later, there was no injuries on her besides a scratch on the right side. Is this from the box? It might be from the box. A scratch on her right side, said the detectives. The scratch allegedly appeared to be very old and very minor. A witness explained Ashley got the scratch on her right side the day before the shooting, where she was inadvertently scratched when someone walked by her carrying a box. Okay, later on, when she and her team puts it in a motion, they're going to say that scratch came from Doug running at her with the box and then in upward motion, pushed a box up and scratched her or something. But we're getting different stories already. At the time of the arrest warrant was filed, prosecutors claimed numerous requests had been made to Ashley Benefield's legal counsel. Wait a second, where's the black eye? Supposedly there was like a black eye, but maybe the black eye thing is not real either. Where's the black eye? The state claims Ashley Benefield was motivated to kill Doug Benefield because she said she found out she was pregnant with their child. She actively worked to ensure he stayed away from their baby. Why? Is this some sort of like control thing? She filed several DV claims in court, but all were closed and no criminal charges were ever filed. So again, that was the judge from the other case. The DV claims that she made in court, and she wanted like sole custody of the child probably. Based on the cases and Ashley's actions leading up to the murder of Douglas Benefield, it appears that the main focus of these complaints was to keep the child away from Douglas. The affidavit reads, it appears Ashley had exhausted all legal means of keeping the child away from Douglas before the shooting. A judge set Ashley Benefield's bond at $100,000, which she paid. She now has a court-issued curfew and is required to wear an ankle monitor. The former ballerina lives with her mom and now 5-year-old daughter. Court documents show that she was able to adjust her curfew when needed and even travel to Maryland for a wedding. Why? Why are they being so nice to her? Due to financial hardships, a judge granted Ashley Benefield's defense team request to waive the monthly cost $120 of... Wait, you have to pay for ankle monitor maintenance? $120? I actually did not know that. Jesus, $120? Yeesh. Motion for dismissal. Okay. We're going to read the motion for dismissal document because this is where I was like, what? This is her arrest warrant. What I thought was kind of interesting was she lived at a place. I don't know if her address, why they put her as homeless. I was a little curious about that. But yeah, Ashley Benefield, born 12/5/91. Oh my God. She was born December 5th. Jesus. You guys, Dennis has the same birthday as Ashley. And I have the same birthday as Taylor Shabiz. Oh God. Okay. Let's read. We're not going to read the whole document, but this is their history. And this is what she said happened. Okay. Again, this is from her perspective. Okay. Her perspective. History. After meeting in 2016, let me put on my glasses. Douglas Benefield, the decedent, and Ashley were married following a 13-day whirlwind romance. Yikes. 30 years her senior, Mr. Benefield portrayed himself as everything Miss Benefield was waiting for her entire life. In reality, Mr. Benefield's presentation was a complete fraud. Why? On the day of the homicide. Wait, they're not going to go into why he was a fraud? Okay, I guess we're just skipping over that. On the day of the homicide, September 27, 2020, Miss Benefield knew the following about her then husband. A. He fired a handgun into the ceiling of their kitchen in an effort to intimidate her. Exhibit 1. B. He threw a loaded gun at her. Exhibit 2. C. He punched their dog in the face hard enough to render the canine unconscious. I think they're just being really exaggerative. I read the exhibit. I don't remember him saying that the dog went unconscious and it was punched in the face. Should we go into the exhibits now? It's a lot of jumpy. We'll do it later. He regularly carried a loaded gun, concealed firearm. E. He unlawfully placed a tracker in her car, and Miss Benefield frequently observed him tailing her car. F. He was caught by a neighbor at night, standing in her backyard and peering into Miss Benefield's home. G. He punched numerous holes in the wall of their home. H. His previous marriage had a history of DV. Perception. Following Ms. Benefield's initial departure from their marital home in Charleston, South Carolina on August 28, 2017, she returned to gather her belongings and moved to a home owned by her mother in Manatee County, where the homicide took place. It is not difficult, given the history detailed above, to appreciate and understand why Ms. Benefield feared her husband. Again, a judge already looked into all these issues and ruled that Ashley Benefield lied about everything in a very confident manner. She said, there was no evidence, zero whatsoever. The judge could still be wrong, but I don't know. The judge must have got some really good details that gave her that much confidence to rule that and to say it publicly. It is not difficult given the history, blah, blah, blah. I already read that. While physical conditioning played a large role in Miss Benefield's career as a ballerina, she was no match for Douglas Benefield. In sharp contrast to Miss Benefield's lithe structure, Mr. Benefield was a former naval officer, admittedly skilled in hand-to-hand combat, who stood 5'9", weighed 169 pounds, and was in prime shape. Okay, here are some pictures of Doug Benefield. All right, he's in shape, good shape. All right, got him doing push-ups right there. Also, I feel like whoever wrote this, it just doesn't feel like this was written by a lawyer. Like, I feel like when I read legal documents, motions to blah, 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 I feel like the way it's written, usually it just sounds so much... I feel like I wrote this, and I'm not good at writing. Like, I literally feel like I wrote this. We need, like, Ben Chud level of writing, okay? This is like, I feel like this level of writing, like, who wrote this? How old was he? He was in his 50s. She in her, I think she's like in her early 30s now. So when it happened, probably in her late 20s. But yeah. Money grabber? You think so? 5'9"? Yeah, I don't know. They're like 5'9", 169 pounds. It's like, okay, okay. But here's pictures of him with muscles. All right, guys, fear the muscles. During the relationship, the deceased frequently represented to Miss Benefield that he worked for governmental agencies such as the CIA, was a technical expert in advanced classified fields that required a security clearance. Oh, is this where the fraud comes in? And trained in both active and retired special forces in hand-to-hand and close quarters combat at a secret location the United States called the Ranch. Moody and unpredictable. This is like, I feel like this is like, who wrote this? This is like a novel. Moody and unpredictable. He would all too frequently vacillate between calm and rage. Miss Benefield never knew that, I feel like I'm reading a novel right now. Miss Benefield would never know that what would set him off. He would often tell Miss Benefield, you haven't seen the warrior side of me and you never want to. Okay, maybe he has said that before. I don't know. That's kind of cringe. Homicide. On Sunday, September 27, 2020, the deceased arrived at Miss Benefield's residence driving a U-Haul truck at approximately 5:30 p.m. Miss Benefield resided at with her minor daughter and mother, Alicia Byers. In the weeks preceding the incident, Miss Benefield, her mother, and daughter were preparing to move to Maryland. Mr. Benefield had taken a temporary local apartment. He too was moving to Maryland. Look at that. How often do you hear about a father taking up and moving so they can be closer to their kid? Usually what dads kind of do, they move away from their kids. I know my dad did. Although it was made clear to him, and he understood, the parties would not be cohabiting upon their arrival at a new destination. Material facts. 1. As the decedent arrived, Miss Byers and the minor child were leaving their residence to walk the neighborhood splash park. Maybe she wasn't happy that... So she decided to live with her mom, and she's like, you know what, Mom, we're going to move to Maryland. Or maybe the mom wanted to move to Maryland. So moving to Maryland would create some separation. But then maybe Mr. Benefield, maybe he was such a good dad that he's like, you know what, fine. I will move to Maryland too, so I can be closer to my daughter. Maybe, right? We don't know. We don't know what kind of dad he was, but maybe. Material facts. 1, as the decedent arrived, Miss Byers and the minor child were leaving the residence to walk the neighborhood splash park. What is a splash park? Splash park? Is it like a park that has like water or something like that? Agreed. They go away. Yeah. My dad moved into like another state and I was like, why did he do that? He could have opened a restaurant where we lived, but yeah, I don't know. A brief acknowledgement between them and the decedent took place. 2, Miss Benefield was in the garage packing items to the boxes. After greeting one another, they engaged in a brief discussion about the pre-staged furniture and the boxes in the garage that were ready to be loaded into the U-Haul. 3, while the decedent began moving the pre-staged furniture and the boxes into the U-Haul, Miss Benefield started packing items that were in the rear of the garage shelf area. 4, the decedent's mood was consistent with his prior history, happy, hyper, and animated, arms and legs flailing. I just can't take this document seriously. Her description of a dog is just so weird. So like he's happy, he's animated, his arms and legs are flailing one moment and then agitated, sullen, and intimidating the next. I don't know, maybe I'm just being really exaggerative, but I just feel like there's a lot of exaggeration going on. I don't know. That's just a feeling that I'm getting. Not that I know for sure, but that's just a feeling that I'm getting. Arms and legs flailing one moment and then agitated, sullen, and intimidating the next. Annoyed that they had not already moved with fixed, intense stares at Ms. Benefield. Number 5, a discussion ensued about the order the furniture should be loaded to facilitate Miss Benefield's belongings being unloaded first, since they would be residing in different residences upon arrival in Maryland. SpongeBob. Or what's it called? The wacky, what's that like? Like car dealerships, they have like the wacky inflatable man thing. The wacky inflatable man. That's what it reminds me of, okay? This annoyed the decedent, and he expressed frustration and anger by stating, it should not be a your house, my house arrangement. We are moving together as a family, making a fresh start, but you're dividing us. Number 6, things began to escalate immediately thereafter. Mr. Benefield exclaimed that it is time Miss Benefield began acting like a wife. Otherwise, he would have to pack her in the pod. Wait, what? Like he would just... I think the pod is one of those things where it's a square U-Haul thing. You pack all your shit into it and then a truck like hauls it or like a car hauls it. So he threatened to pack her into the pod. And anaerobic, non-mobile. So anaerobic means like what? Like no oxygen or something? Non-mobile secondary container ranging in size from 8 to 16 feet used for storing and or moving inanimate objects by a flatbed truck. Okay. In short, non-survivable transportation. That's why they threw in the anaerobic in there. Okay. Miss Benefield clearly took that as a threat in retaliation for her lack of submission. It was a refrain Mr. Benefield had echoed before on several occasions when he would remark, "If you do not cooperate, I will ship you in the pod, and you won't like it because it'll be very hot and slow. If you're going to be difficult, you're going to go the slow way to Maryland." Number 7, expressing that he then needed to make room in the pod. The deceased was not dissuaded by Miss Benefield telling him the pod was full, packed to the brim. Instead, he attempted to gain access to the pod and found it to be locked. He demanded the key, insisting that he needed to make room in the pod. Miss Benefield denied having the key or knowing where her mother put it. The decedent continued to insist that Miss Benefield unlock the pod to shove her in it. Number 8, Miss Benefield's inability to provide the deceased with the key to the pod angered him. Confronting Miss Benefield, the deceased moved in close, cross arms, and glared at Miss Benefield. Concluding she was defiant, he grew tense, shoulders raised, fist clench, heavy breathing, sharp, staccato, derisive comments, spewed force. I feel like I'm reading a novel. Who wrote this? As in South Carolina, Miss Benefield was concerned for herself for safety and wanted to avoid antagonizing the decedent. Miss Benefield attempted to de-escalate the situation by redirecting the conversation and calm him by speaking softly and positively. He would have none of it, and in an effort to protect herself, she moved away from him to the rear of the garage and resumed packing. Critical mass. Number 9, her efforts had been rejected. The deceased responded by growing increasingly aggressive and threatening. The decedent begins to hover over the top of Miss Benefield in an intimidating manner while she was bent over, packing boxes in the garage. Fist clench, arms jiggling. I really do want to know who wrote this. Fist clench, arms jiggling. How would you, in your head, how would you picture this? So she's packing. He's standing there getting more and more infuriated. The key is not showing up, and his fists are clenched and his arms are jiggling as he's ready for physical contact. Jiggling? Like how? I don't even know who I don't know. Whoever wrote this is a complete drama novel. Listen, whoever wrote this probably took her word for it verbatim, but I felt like they should have cleaned it up a little bit so it sounds a little bit more believable. Arms jiggling as if ready for physical contact. Ms. Benefield felt that he was going to lash out. In an effort to extract herself from the situation, she attempted to dissuade the deceased to leave by remarking very gently that she was exhausted and was finished for the day. It fell on deaf ears. Mr. Benefield acknowledged her comment, but kept packing and loading. 10. Afraid of commanding to leave in an effort to put even more distance between them, Ms. Benefield left the garage and entered the house, where she continued to pack boxes and move them into the garage. Jesus. Number 11. Assault and battery. While walking through the living room, the deceased body checked Miss Benefield. What is that? Like you bump into someone, right? Approaching Miss Benefield in the kitchen area instead of going around her. The decedent's shoulder, chest, arm made contact with Miss Benefield. Anxious, but nonetheless caught off guard. I have a question. Why didn't she have a friend there with her? If this guy has a history of being abusive, like she claims, poisoning her, punching the dog, being abusive towards her kid, why did she not have someone there with her while they were packing? Or why not just hire a moving company to pack their stuff? I don't know. I think she must have at least one friend, or at least have the mom be there. Right? I feel like you would just have someone there because you don't want to get, you don't want to get your butt beat. I don't know. This looking kind of fishy. Anxious but nonetheless caught off guard, the contact was sufficient to cause her to lose her footing, stumble, and almost fall. She could not help but notice the deceased was mumbling under his breath and clearly hostile. Scared, Miss Benefield realized the pattern of contentious behavior towards her was escalating quickly. Number 12, again while in the garage, emphatically exclaiming she was done for the day and wanted to continue the following day, the deceased, while facing the laundry room, and Miss Benefield, while facing the opening of the garage, made physical contact, body check with Miss Benefield, while grumbling about the delay and her being difficult. With no apology for the contact this time either, Miss Benefield was then certain that both instances were intentional. Once again, trying to stop any escalation, she apologized to him. This is where we have the scratch. Finally, while Miss Benefield was entering the house from the garage, the decedent was heading into the garage from the residence. The two met in the hall while the decedent was holding a medium-sized assembled cardboard box. Miss Benefield stepped to the right, and the deceased deliberately drove the box into Miss Benefield in an upward motion. I don't really get this part too, because it says, so he had a box, drove it up towards her in an upward motion. I feel like, I don't know, that's such a weird motion to make. So you'd be like, you have a box. Yeah. Sorry, Cheryl. Like, you have a box, drive it towards someone, and then you like, I'm not saying it's impossible for it to happen. It just sounds really weird. And we're already getting some really weird descriptions of what Mr. Benefield has been based on Ashley's descriptions. I don't know. So they took a picture of the scratch right here, but we read the Law and Crime article. There was a witness that said that she actually had that scratch from a couple days ago or the day before from someone running into her with a box. So I wonder if she was just taking that incident and trying to apply it to this one. But it's just a tiny little scratch right there. Not the cardboard box attack. All right, 14. After again ignoring her entreaties to finish, okay, last chair, last table. In a final effort to rationalize ending the day's activity, Ms. Benefield entered their child's bedroom to show decedent there was little left to pack and move. Standing in the doorway to the child's room, the decedent blocked Ms. Benefield's exit while puffing his chest, clenching his fists, and glaring at her. Trapped and frightened, she backed up further into the room to put some distance between them, but sensed an attack was imminent. At that point, Miss Benefield shouted. So basically, all that's happening right now is they're packing. He's getting frustrated that the packing is happening slowly. And she's doing everything she can to assuage the situation, to calm his anger, being really polite towards him. And he just keeps aggressing. And he's getting more and more mad. But there's no words that are being exchanged or anything. And then all of a sudden, he rams her with a cardboard box, driving it upwards, and she's like not responding, and he's just getting madder and madder and clenching his fists and puffing his chest and glaring at her. At some point, this is where he decides to attack her. Standing in the door to the child's room, the decedent blocked Miss Benefield's exit while puffing his chest, clenching his fist, and glaring at her. Frightened, she backed up further into the room to put some distance between them, but sensed an attack was imminent. At that point, Mr. Benefield shouted, he knew what she was doing. Accused of her trying to force him to leave, or maybe she, get rid of him, and that he was not leaving. He could stay if he wanted to and spend the night if he wanted to because he was her husband. So this is the layout of the house. We got the kitchen, the bathroom. That's her bedroom. Here's the garage. So maybe they're like, it's like somewhere in this area that they're in right now. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Somewhere in here. Remaining in burglary with an assault and battery. Oh God, they're going to say that he burglarized by staying there when he wasn't wanted. 15, momentarily rational. The deceased stepped back into the hallway, allowing Ms. Benefield to escape their daughter's room, where she headed down the hallway, into the living room and towards the front door. Right behind her, the deceased grabbed Ms. Benefield by the left hand and yanked her back, stopping her in an effort to leave the residence, shouting, "Where do you think you're going?" Moving around her so that his back was to the front door, and once again aggressively confronting her, thereby blocking her path to the front door while wagging his finger in her face and exclaiming, "You can't leave me." Ms. Benefield found the strength to then tell him outright, "I am done. You need to leave now." Her command was ignored, which at that point rendered the decedent's status thought of as a burglar. Oh my God. Now terrified, Ms. Benefield braced for what she believed would be certain physical impact. Her instincts were correct. 16. Raising his right hand with a closed fist, the decedent drove his knuckles at the second joint into the left side of Ms. Benefield's head, temporal area, face, while exclaiming, "I am not done." The impact resulted in a sharp numbing pain, which caused Ms. Benefield to stumble to the right side, after which she fled to her bedroom. Her worst fears realized, Ms. Benefield now believed her life was in danger. Never before had the deceased actually struck her. In the past, he psychologically abused her and sought to intimidate her by, amongst other things, holding her against her will, punching holes in the wall, harming their domestic animals, and shooting and throwing guns in the house. But this was different. Any restraint had been abandoned. As she entered her bedroom, Miss Benefield swung the door behind her in an unsuccessful effort to close it. The door remained ajar. So this is such a bad picture that they use. They had a colored one that they used during trial as well. And I was like, this happened in like late 2010s, 2020. Like, how do we not have a better picture? I know this is in black and white, but even the colored one, it's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I could kind of see, but I don't know. I can't, I don't know. These pictures are horrible. I need a better picture. Bruce Kitt's still missing. I feel like I'm listening to Gone Girl Part 2. Life or death decision. 17. In the west corner of the bedroom was a laundry basket and a cloth storage bin, which rested on top of the laundry basket. Inside the storage bin was a firearm that was legally owned by Miss Benefield. Miss Benefield retrieved the firearm. Wait, what? She tried to close the door behind her, but she was unsuccessful. The door remained ajar, but she was able to run and get this gun. I don't know, man. I wonder if this gun was already like ready to go. And also the gun has to be definitely locked away because you have a child living in your house. You would think the gun would be maybe in a safe or maybe like unloaded. Was this gun like ready to go? And this guy was like coming after her? In the west corner of her bedroom was a laundry basket and a cloth storage bin, which rested on top of the laundry basket. Inside the storage bin was a firearm that was legally owned. Miss Benefield retrieved the firearm just as she simultaneously heard the unmistakable sound of the door bounce off the doorstop. She turned and saw the decedent. Wait, I don't know if I believe this. How did she have time to get the firearm, and why was the firearm not properly stored, especially if a child living with you? She turned and saw the decedent in the doorway to her bedroom with a fierce scowl. Pointing the firearm at the deceased, she nervously ordered him to stop. 18. The deceased did not stop. Rather, this is the part where I was reading earlier. He postured like a mixed martial arts fighter, blading, hands parallel with his chest and shoulders, moving his arms in a circular motion, and then advanced towards her. Now terrified and believing that she was about to suffer great bodily harm, if not death, she fired the weapon. Why would he be doing this stance if she had a gun coming at him? Was he going to deflect the bullets with his hands or something like that? The deceased, undeterred. So now terrified and believing she was about to suffer great bodily harm, if not death, she fired the weapon. The deceased, undeterred, continued advancing. Miss Benefield, in fear of her life, frantically moved in an effort to move more distance between them. Still, he did not stop coming towards her and continued firing. Again, when the police came back, they believe that the gunshot was fired from behind him and he had no defensive like wounds or anything like that. So they already think there's a lot of holes in her story. In what seemed like a slow motion, she saw the deceased's legs go up in the air. I don't know. I feel like she probably reads a lot of novels and I don't know. Like, remember like the AH stuff? The stuff when she was recounting the things that were happening to her, it was like she forgot to include things like how she felt at that moment, how it affected her, how she was feeling. She just described like everything in her surrounding. And I feel like that's where it lacked the genuineness, you know? And that's what I'm feeling right here. I don't see it. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very genuine. It seems like she's trying to recall something that she made up and she thinks this is what really happens in real life, even though you see it in movies and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I feel like in real life, like, I don't know, what seemed like a slow motion. She saw the deceased's legs go up in the air as if his feet slipped from underneath him and he fell backwards. Up in the air? Like up in the air? Like he slipped on a banana and like legs were up in the air? Oh yeah, maybe ChatGPT. Miss Benefield immediately fled her residence, seeking help from her next door neighbor, John Sant. According to Army and Herbert Carlton, two neighborhood residents who were out walking their dogs, less than 30 seconds after hearing the gun, they observed Miss Benefield running out of the garage, gun in hand, crying and screaming what sounded like help. Run to the house next door and heard pounding on the door. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. So I read that and I was just like, geez, I don't know what lawyer wrote this. Why couldn't they write it in a way where it sounded believable? Whoever wrote it, I don't know. I feel like they just took her word from it and they just copied and pasted verbatim. So this is their exhibit. This is them talking to the deceased. And let's read this one. Question. I'm not going to ask what Ashley did. What happens with the gun? Answer. After maybe another minute or 2 minutes, I couldn't tell you the exact time. Question. Of Ashley talking about Eva? I think Eva's her daughter. Answer. Of Ashley talking. I'm not begging her to stop talking. I am begging her to stop talking and to please stop. Question. And your head's on the counter? Answer. My head's on the counter. Question. What happens with the gun? Answer. She wouldn't stop. Just completely would not stop. So out of the complete and utter frustration, no anger whatsoever, I don't remember feeling a single iota of anger. It was just purely utter frustration. And so, question, what happened? Answer, I literally, the gun's sitting in front of me and I pull it in front of the sleeve and I shot it at the ceiling. Question, did you say anything before you did it? Answer, did I say anything? Question, yeah. Answer, I said nothing except for I was up to that point asking her, please stop talking and please give it a rest. It's the same page. Oh, this skips a little bit. Oh, my mouse. All right, this skips. Somebody to do something stupid, which was represented by her sitting there with black eyes and her arms crossed if mission is accomplished. That she tells me something. Question. Okay. Did she somehow egg you on with the gun at any point in time? I didn't hear anything about that. Answer. She egged me on in an argument, not stopping. Question. She didn't bring the gun to the house, you did, right? Answer. No. Question. You were the one who threw the gun against the wall, correct? Answer. Absolutely. I admitted to that. Question. You were the one that pulled the gun out of the sleeve and discharged it. Answer. Absolutely. And I admitted it. Question. And you think that was her fault? Answer. Absolutely. There's two parties. She had ability to stop arguing. Question. And she should have stopped when you told her to, correct? Answer. Any of the 100 times I asked her to. Question. All right. So this is just all the exhibits that they're talking about him shooting the gun into the ceiling, throwing a gun at the wall. What is this one? Same thing. Throwing the gun. Oh, I think this is from the, this is from the custody hearing thing where the judge was like, didn't believe Ashley whatsoever, but agreed that there were some cases of where there was a DV present. Exhibit 3. Is this the one with the doggy? Doggy. Okay, this is the one with the dog. My question is that, did you hit Sully? Not why did you hit Sully? Answer. You can call it hit, yes. Question. You call it hit? Answer. Yeah. Question. He sprung up into it, I guess, your lap, and I reacted and hit him. Wait. Q? Hold on. I'm confused. Q, answer. Q, answer. Q. Okay. He sprung up into it, I guess, your lap, and I reacted and hit him? Answer. Yeah. So when you say you called it hit, correct? Answer. Yes. For lack of better words, yes. The dog sprung up on my lap all instantaneously, trying to crawl on my lap, sharp claws. I've got on shorts and gets cut off. Question. How did you hit him? Answer. I honestly. Question. You don't remember? Answer. I don't remember exactly. This is, again, our dog is like, family. And I just wanted everything to stop. I want him to stop and he wouldn't. He would not stay under the table and he kept. Question. He wouldn't stop either. So you hit him, correct? Yes, I hit my dog. But I don't know. When I'm reading this, it's not like, I'm not sensing oh, he's an animal abuser and just abuses a dog just for the fun of it, right? But I think she saw this incident, was like, oh yeah, he abuses animals. He abused my pets. But I mean, a hit could just be something that's like a hit on the butt or a hit on the shoulder or something like that. I don't know. It could be innocuous. She watched the Jodi Arias movie so many times. Your dog thinks I'm crying. Oh gosh. Okay, I think what's all this? Something about the tracking device. I don't know. Basically, all this stuff, the previous judge has already said that they believe all of Ashley's claims were bullshit. And yeah, this is from Ashley's side. So, her trial's happening right now. And we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Was there anything else I want to read here? This is the layout. Again, I don't really see the black eye, but the picture just really sucks. I don't know what is... This was 2020. Oh, here's the picture right here. Can you guys see that? Oh, this, look at this picture right here. Who took this picture? Hold on. Sorry, I'm watching a lot of Forensic Files right now. This right here. Who the hell took that picture? They're saying that there's a black eye on one eye, but I think not the other. But why does the other eye look the same? What is this picture? Is this another Photoshop thing? I don't know. It just reminds me of the AH stuff. Just a bit, just a little bit. The 5-point palm exploding heart technique, acting in self-defense. I see that now. Okay. This is where I was trying to look at the picture.
Do you see that as?
But I could barely see anything. I don't know. I don't know.
swollen as compared to.
I think I kind of see it, but this the judge completely I would say the judge does a pretty, he just destroys. I think this is her defense team right there. When they bring up the picture, hold on. Okay, let's talk about the picture. Crime scene photos were presented in the court Thursday during former ballerina Ashley Benefield's pre-evidentiary hearing. The photos show a bloody bedroom with multiple shell casings marked with evidence markers. Defense also presented photos showing Ashley with a swollen cheek and swollen eye. Ashley's been charged with second-degree murder of her husband's death. She claims she shot Doug Benefield in self-defense. I mean, it's just a bad.
All right, Ms. Condon, let me direct your.
Like when he moved it up like this, I'm like, I don't see. I like maybe a little bit of darkening, right? It's like, I don't know, man. If someone got punched in the face, I feel like I shouldn't be squinting to see if they have a black eye or not. I feel like it's like, okay, that's pretty fucking prominent. I'm squinting hard.
Good. All right, Ms. Condon, let me direct your attention to the exhibit that is now up on the Elmo. I want to ask you, with respect to Ms. Benefield's left side of the face, specifically the left eyelid, does that appear to be the same size as the eyelid on the right, or does it appear to be swollen?
Objection.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain. I mean, I can see that for myself.
The judge. I mean, like, if I could kind of see what he's talking about, but like, I don't know.
I don't need the witness to narrate what the evidence is, unless there's something specific that you want to draw out about it. But
No, that's fine. The only other question I was going to ask was about the left cheek, Your Honor.
Look at the judge. Judge is like, I don't know if I see anything, man. I feel like the judge is doing what we're doing right now. He's squinting real hard, like, is there anything there? I just don't know. I don't know. Just this judge over here. Oh, let me see if we can zoom in on the judge. He said what?
The question I was going to ask was about the left cheek, Your Honor.
Judge is like, where? Okay.
okay. But I also think that she didn't take these.
I understand.
Okay, go ahead. So I'm going to sustain.
Okay. With respect, Ms. Colon, to Ms. Benefield's left cheek, do you see that as swollen as compared to the right cheek?
Sustained.
All right. Next.
Poor guy. Oh, that's all he gets. Oh my God, not the scratch. Why even? This is ridiculous. I feel like the jury, I don't know. Actually, this is pre stuff, right? Pre-evidentiary hearing. Okay, the jury, I don't think is here. Witness, can you see that? Can you squint your eyes a little bit and see if there's that scratch right there? Squint your eyes a little bit harder. There's a scratch right there, right? That's a scratch right there, right? Domestic violence, baby.
This was a photograph that was taken when?
That was the night, the first night.
Okay. And this was taken by you?
No, that was taken by Megan.
By Megan. Are you familiar with this photograph?
I am.
All right. Does this photograph, it's hard to depict in this exhibit under the Elmo.
And again,
Does it show whether or not?
Usually I wait until like the trial happens, there's more information. But the reason why I feel pretty strongly about this is because we've already had a judge that went through all the allegations that she made against her husband for the previous stuff. And the judge called her out saying there was zero evidence. Her expert testimony, the expert witness, BS, didn't look through the records thoroughly, didn't provide any information that was even usable. So that's the reason why I feel pretty strong about this. Usually I'm like, yeah, I'll wait until, there's more evidence. Maybe there's stuff, blah, blah, blah. But like here, I'm just like, I don't know. And then also reading that motion where she was describing Doug and his stance and the karate chopping, circular motion, blading. I don't know. It was just
The scratch.
Objection, Judge.
Yeah.
where the scratch at, man? I don't see no scratch.
Well, I understand, but let him finish the question. I don't know where he's going. It's not uncommon for lawyers to start this way and make a, not wrong turn, but left turn. So
I'll
go ahead.
withdraw the question.
Make a wrong turn. Okay, he's gonna withdraw the question. Is that what happened?
Make a, not wrong turn, but left turn. So
I'll
go ahead.
withdraw the question.
Oh, no, ask your question, please, but I don't know where it was going.
I understand, but I
The attorney's like, you know what? And the judge's like, no. Ask your dumb questions. Go. I'm just kidding.
also know what the ruling
kidding.
is, so.
If it's just to narrate
Out of
what's-
concern for the court's time.
Yeah, I
understand.
mean, and then you can
Withdraw.
argue that, certainly,
I'll be able to argue it too.
absolutely,
Yeah,
100%.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you tried,
Redirect?
Professor X. You tried.
Ms. Conlon, in your many years at the sheriff's office, you've responded to.
Who's the celebrity that was performing and like some idiot threw a phone at her? Who? Do you guys know who that was? Because that right there, that's a swollen eye.
Homicide scenes regularly.
Yes.
BB.
And,
Oh yes, I think
is it
so.
your understanding from your experience that a lot happens prior to your actually getting called out?
Yes.
BB.
And so, if you get a call out at 7:37, you can't say how long law enforcement had been on scene prior to your getting there, can you?
No.
Because in theory, patrol arrives first.
Correct.
And at some point, there's a determination that there's a homicide before the homicide unit gets called out?
Correct.
And are you next in line after the homicide?
Yes.
No way! No way! I'm sorry to yell at the microphone. I'm sorry. Oh my god! Are you serious, Rain? Is this the photo? What? What was the original photo that they had? Hold up a second, guys. Y'all tell me. This is. Okay, hold on. Let me compose myself. This. Okay, this is the photo, right? Look at this photo. So in that picture right there, like it's like black and blue and brown. Okay, this is the photo that Rain. No way. No way. This is the photo that she showed with the black. Is that the same photo? Oh my God, no way! I can't believe they had the balls to show that to the court. Like, see that there? You see that there? That's a black eye. You see that? It's kind of swollen. Look at the lids. Tell me the lid size is not the same. Some people have double eyelids that are different sizes. So I would need to see another picture of her where she's not wearing makeup and maybe her lids are the same size or something. I don't know. But then also sometimes if you don't get good sleep, sometimes your lids get a little fucky. What is this? What? The dancing photos look worse. What is this? Why are we presenting this to the court? This was presented to the court and the little itty bitty scratch that she had. Oh my God. I'm done. Oh my God, no way. Okay, thank you, Rand, for sharing that because I wanted to see the picture. I don't see it. I just don't see it. So the reason why I brought up BB, how do you pronounce her name? BB Rexa? I'm sorry, I don't know her. But BB, where's she at? Let me see. She got hit with the phone and it looks pretty fucking crazy. Where's she at? Is this it? What an idiot! Why would the person go to a judge and be like, hey, I did that because it was a social media trend? Like, why would you do that? I would be like, listen, I'm a huge fan of BB. I love her so much. I was jamming so hard. I was pumping my phone in the air. My hands are so sweaty that it slipped out. I don't know. He should have just... I mean, no, that's lying, I guess. But why would you be like, it was a social media trend. That's why I threw the phone at her. I just be like, yo, her music was banging. I do have sweaty hands, actually. Look at my hands, it's like glistening right now. And my phone slid out of my hand and it hit her face. But anyway, sorry. You shouldn't lie. You shouldn't lie. I'm glad that he told his truth.
CBS 2's Lisa Rosner was in the courtroom and asked him what happened.
Is there anything you want people to know? 27-year-old Nicholas Melvin.
That's him? Jesus.
And asked him what happened.
Is there anything you want
That's him? Jesus.
people to know? 27-year-old.
Wait, oh, I'm sorry. I'm blocking it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. What? I don't know. The way that he's walking. He's like, I think my camera is too low, but he's like, I don't. I'm sorry. I need my camera to be normal height in order to do it. But like the way that he's just like walking through, like this right there. That's what a black eye looks like. Okay, a little purple eye, pink eye, red eye, whatever it's called. But that is what it looks like when you get hit with something. Okay, not whatever this mess is. Her getting punched in the face and she looks like this. What is this nonsense? What is this nonsense? It's like when Age said that she had a broken nose, and we're like, huh? She had a broken nose? What? I gotta squint my eyes to see this. I don't have to squint. I'm just like, okay, that looks pretty freaking gnarly.
Right. On Instagram, she shared photos.
Oof. Yeah, see, there's a cut right there. And at this point, it hasn't, you can see the blackish and the purple, but it hasn't really swollen up that much yet. But look at this guy walking through. That's true. Shelly, you're right. Ice does cure swelling. You are right. Ice cures swelling. It's free. And then if you want to pay some money, then do some Amica cream.
Protection against.
Even the lawyer acknowledges that this guy's an idiot.
What's going on that a lot of concert goers do.
A lot of concert goers do. A lot of people do this. They throw their phone. I know people throwing like other stuff maybe, but like throwing your phones, like I've heard of like throwing panties. Is that actually really a TikTok trend to throw your cell phone? That doesn't even make sense. Cell phones are so expensive nowadays.
He allegedly said he thought Rexa was looking in his direction.
She was looking in my direction. Oh my God. Keep an eye on this guy.
Like, wait.
I just can't get over the way he just walks through the crowd. He threw some dobbies at a concert once. What are dobbies? Is that another dobbies? What is a dobbies? Do I dare even look that up? Doobies? Oh, doobies. That's like a joint or something, right? Adele literally warned her crowd to not throw stuff at her or she'll hit back with those t-shirt guns they use. My brother went to go see Adele this past weekend. He said she was really amazing and awesome. So that's why we're in Vegas this past weekend. Weirdos throw stuff at hairstyles all the time. It's got to stop. Oh my God. You know what? I wonder if he admitted to it because he wanted to be known as the guy that threw the phone at BB Rexa. And now forever, he's going to be immortalized on the internet as such. He's 27 years old. Are you serious? Oh my God. This is something you would hear from, like, I don't know. If you're a teenager, I would forgive you, because you're a teenager, you're pretty fucking stupid. You're 27 years old. You're about to be 30. I was trying to see if I could hit her with my phone at the end because of the show, because it would be funny. I don't know, man. Phones are pretty heavy. What do you think happens when you throw a phone at a person's face? When my band played in the 90s, we got bras and panties tossed up on the stage and so many weird marriage proposals. Were the panties clean or did they have some cream in there? I don't know, man. I feel like that would be so nasty. Like people throwing like panties and stuff like that. Like, oh, God. Ah! Who's throwing a 1K phone? Maybe he threw like a Nokia phone or something. Maybe it was like an out-of-date Nokia phone. No comment. Did it still have like the panty liner on there? I'm sorry, we're getting to gross territory. Okay. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. He deserves the record that he's gonna get. But anyways, yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I don't have to squint in order to see that she's got like a black eye right there, and it looks swollen and it looks horrible. So I don't know, Ashley Benefield. When you say you have a black eye in that photo, and I got to squint really hard, but then I find out that it looks like your team, it looks like they processed the photo to up the contrast or something to make it look like there's a black eye when there really isn't. And what really messed it up is that they said that it was only on the left side, but I was like, wait, why am I seeing right side? Why is that also black and purple? So I don't know. They need to hire better Photoshop specialists, I guess. Crusty shorts. Throwing panties is probably worse. Basically, sexual assault. Yeah, I'd be like, oh god, I don't know. That just sounds really gross. All right, do we have anything else besides Ashley Banfield? Ashley Banfield. I got all of her court stuff. When is her trial happening? Oh my god, what is all this? What is all this? 10/16/2023 jury trial. So that's like 3 months from now. Okay. Well, I'll definitely keep an eye on this. We'll see where that goes. Let me look at, I have like a list of all these cases that I just got to double check on. Vlogs are up from Japan. I have one more vlog that's coming out from Yokohama. Keep an eye out for that if you want to watch it. And then other than that, yeah, pop in if you guys want to hang out with me on Twitch. I play video games on there, and then we're going to watch some true crime. I don't know. I've been sucked into Forensic Files, but I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of like cases that I add to my watch later list. So if you guys want to come and hang out, feel free. And other than that, thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys lurking in the chat. Thank you for chatting with me. Thanks for keeping me busy. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys later. Okay, hope you guys had fun. And oh my god, today's Thursday. Ah! Sorry, I didn't stream because I went to Vegas for a couple of days, and then we went to Vegas, and then yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. We went to Vegas. It was so hot. For those of you guys that live in Vegas, I don't know how you guys do it, man. Like, I don't know. Like, the no state income tax is great. You know, houses that are cheaper. Although, I don't know if houses are even cheaper now in Vegas. I feel like everyone's, like, moving there and stuff. And, like, trying to, like, do Airbnbs and stuff there. But I don't know how you guys do it in Vegas. It's just so hot. I was just dying. I was just, it was just so hot. I don't even know. You would just go outside and just, like, like, you would just burn up. Like, and if guess what? SpongeBob. Oh, thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. But like, when SpongeBob goes to like Sandy's dome, he's like, Sandy, water, what? Like, that's how I felt in Vegas. I don't know. I was like, I'm naturally a dry person too. My skin was completely dry. My nose was all messed up. The eczema was flaring. The trick is you don't go outside. Well, we had to go outside because I had to walk my dogs, and we had to be really strategic about walking my dogs like early in the morning after the sun is like down on the grass, and then we had to carry them if there was gonna be concrete because the ground was too freaking hot. I don't know how you guys do it, man. It's freaking wild. Arizona. Oh, I love Arizona though. Arizona's nice. It's actually like, I don't know. We were in Chandler in Arizona. It's a very nice neighborhood there. But the Airbnb rules in Arizona are so fucking crazy. They're like, it's like you're not allowed to touch the thermostat. If you do though, you can only change it by like 2 degrees, and then like you have to like get permission, and then they monitor you because like they don't want people going to the Airbnb in Arizona and blasting the AC and stuff like that. Because the bill there's like really high, especially during peak season. I don't know. When I went to Airbnb in Arizona, there were so many rules. Oh my god! And then like I'm usually a very clean person. Like I even vacuumed afterwards. Okay, and I like tidied everything up, and the guy still fucking complained. It was so annoying. You like Arizona? Yeah, we went there. It was actually really nice. The suburbs area is very clean. Honestly, anytime when I leave LA, because LA, if you guys have ever been to downtown, it's like a shithole city. There's just trash and garbage and just nasty everywhere. So like whenever I go to like suburb areas and I'm like, oh my God, it's so pretty here. Like there's flowers, there's rose gardens. It's like a normal road. It's clean. There's no garbage. And like, it's just nice. I don't know. So that's why I like traveling. But would I live there? Nah, the LA weather is just too good, even though it's a shithole here. But weather, it's too good, and food is just too good here. But I don't know. Where else is there where there's nice weather? Because when I came back from not Texas, when I came back from, oh no, my sister lives in Texas. And then the week that Dennis went to Texas, it was like 110 degrees. So I don't know. I've always entertained trying to live in like other states and stuff like that. But I don't know. The weather's just so good here. Ah! Fahrenheit. Yeah, I usually say like it was 20 degrees Celsius earlier. I usually say that just to piss people off. So I turn the ACs on. It's so warm. In New England, you get a nice variety. I hear in England the weather sucks though. I hear it's like really gray, moody, and cold. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. But I hear that like if you want something that's equivalent to LA weather, I hear that Sydney actually is pretty good. Sydney, Australia. So I don't know. Maybe Sydney, Australia. Maybe that would be a contender. Do they have good Asian food there? We're probably hit 120 again. Yeah, apparently the last couple days has been like the hottest the Earth has been in like modern human history or something. So you like New England? Oh, New England. I'm so sorry. I just read that as England. Okay. New England, like Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut, etc. I mean, like I used to live in Maryland and stuff like that. Isn't it like kind of similar to having 4 seasons where it's like you get 3 months of like summer, sometimes it's humid. Oh, I can't do humidity either. My hair. Oh God, no. I like the weather in the mall. Listen, when I was in Thailand, all we did was hang out at the mall. Now I know why. Like if you ever go to Thailand or any places that's like really, really hot, they invest so much money in the malls and stuff like that because people don't want to be outside. So what they do, they go inside where the mall is nice and cool and there's like food court, shopping, and like endless. Like, oh my God. If you guys ever go to Thailand, like go to the shopping malls in Bangkok. It's like, oh, it's like heaven. I don't know. It's just endless. Oh, so good. Yeah, Texas humidity sucks. Yeah, I don't know, man. Texas, now that I know that like Dallas had that like crazy winter snowstorm, I don't know about that. I don't know. And I feel like the weather's just going to get worse and worse, man. Australia has too many poisonous animals. I like spiders and stuff, but yeah, I also don't want to die by getting kicked in the face by a kangaroo. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. But I feel like if you're in the city area, you should be fine, right? Just don't go out in the suburbs and stuff. I did hear that Australia's internet kind of sucks, though. I don't know how I feel about that. I drew Madeira. Sometimes they only have one season, 20 degrees Celsius, whole year round. Madeira? Where's that? What about Switzerland? Too expensive, though, right? Madeira. It's in the archipelago. Macaronesia? Madeira. The Canary Islands? Is that? Oh, this looks so beautiful. Wait, Madeira? This looks so pretty. Is it hard to get there? I don't know. I've always wanted to go to like those really pretty areas where it's like super beautiful oceans and stuff, but it's like like the French Polynesian area. It's like, I don't know. I heard it's like 30 plus hours to get there. Portuguese island near Africa. Amsterdam. Oh, pretty nice weather, you think? I heard Amsterdam got rid of the red light district. We were planning on going there. I was like, oh yeah, let's go check out the red light district. Let's just walk around and see. But like, I heard they like got rid of it or something. Our electric bill in the summer is flipping crazy. Dude, I've been so... we actually have like a time slot where we can do laundry. So weekend, you could do laundry all day for the cheapest rate. And then if you want to do laundry in the weekdays, I could only do it from like 8 p.m. to like 10 a.m. So it's like, I don't know. My life just revolves around my electricity range or the electricity fee and stuff like that right now. So it's like I'm really careful when I use my electricity and then, yeah, doing the laundry and all this stuff. So that's why the weekend is so busy. I just got to do laundry all day, every day, which I freaking hate. Lots of German streamers, they moved there. So good internet and stuff like that. Wait, they moved there to Madeira? You went to visit Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay? The red light district is still around and, oh, the coffee shop. I heard they were getting rid of it. And this was like 2 years ago. Oh, no, actually 3 years ago when we were going to go there for like TwitchCon. Hi, Choi. Hello. We were just talking about Australia. I was like, maybe I'll move to Sydney. I hear the weather there is kind of similar to LA. Cougars are here too, the 4-feeted ones. Wait, cougars like human cougars or like actual cougars? 4-foot cougars coming after boys. With Sydney. It's insane. Float in the pool instead. You'll come visit. Oh, I think you still live too far, right? Santa Barbara, Montesino. Yeah, that's like 2 hours away from LA, I think, right? Yeah, Santa Barbara's really nice. It's really pretty. We've been there. I think it's kind of expensive if you want to live there, though, right? It's so beautiful. Aren't I a 4-foot cougar, Corgi? No, you're getting me mixed up with someone else. You know, probably another streamer that you watch. Yeah, definitely not me. Add like 2 feet to that, okay? Oh, I ran out of water. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. It was lovely chatting with you guys. And again, thank you so much for lurking. Appreciate you guys having you in the background, you know, like a podcast. You could do your own thing. I'm in the background chatting with you. And then I appreciate you guys who are actively talking in the chat as well, keeping me busy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to say. So I'll see you guys later. I'm going to eat some food. Take care. Thanks for hanging out. And I think, oh, Shiro's waking up. Look at this guy. Look at this little stumpy guy right there. This guy for his birthday, man, got into like the trash, went into my neighbor's, my roommate's trash, licked the Domino's pizza box, got into my food when I was on the phone with tech support, and ate my chicken kebab and basmati rice, and then got into the trash again. And this is when I was moving stuff from the car to inside the house, and licked a salami. I don't know. I'm waiting for the shits. It was his birthday a couple days ago. I'm waiting for the shits. Yeah. Chewy sent him a birthday card. It was like, may your day be filled with lots of treats and cuddles. I'm like, yeah, this motherfucker's getting all the treats and stuff. So he's so cute. He's so cute guy. For you. And Steve is just playing with his bone right now. I gave him a bath earlier. So they're shedding like crazy. All right, guys, have a good one. Take care. I will see you guys later. And I think